Size 6 Sports guys. We would be remiss before we start this if we don't give a shout out. We have our new picture of our kids that are growing.
They are growing. My daughter, just about to cross. She's on the move, but she goes backwards.
My son's a big chooch. He's not there yet.
He's got a lot of body to move. That kid.
Yeah, but he's starting. I'm working on. He's dunking a little hoop. He holds onto the rim a little too much. Technical.
Yeah.
He'll get some. I can see that. Shout out to one of the big sports guy fans, Sean Ireland.
And really, I mean, he's the coach of the year.
Yep.
He's coach of the year. The Jets had him as the Connecticut coach of the year. Coach Sean Ireland led the team to me the best.
And his beautiful wife Jess. They had a baby.
Bar crawl Jess. Girl loves her bar crawls.
She did. Not now. Let's not get him in trouble.
I got a text from the hospital. When are we crawling?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll show it to you.
To Jack Ireland.
Yeah,
Can't wait to get him out on the field and see what he's got for no. I'm sure that he'll be part of a McMahon bashing.
Yo, he will be. Yeah, he'll be hoisting up the Testa Trophy. In a few years.
Let's go.
Take it away, Tone.
How about James Ferrier on Tim Tebow? We felt we had a good grasp of what they would try to do to us. They made more plays than we thought they were capable of making. We really hadn't seen that out of him on tape.
You know, you look at what he did, and I think that he was 10 of 21. But the ball that he threw to Eddie Royal, I don't care what you want to say, that's a perfect pass that he threw, that touchdown pass. It was a perfect pass.
To Denarius Thomas?
No.
Yeah.
The ball that he threw to Eddie Royal.
The
first one, right?
The first one was a better.
I thought the winning one.
Yeah, no, that ball that he threw. So he made plays and he made plays down the field. I mean, the guy averaged 31, yards per completion. Like he made the play. So I think that becomes their formula. Is that you, as a defense, it took them a while to kind of figure out what they were as an offense. They did it at spurts at different times, but. You look at what they did. They're going to say, we're going to take our chances. We love to throw it up and have a prayer. They had a big pass interference on one of their late drives.
Yes.
So you're going to get that. So that's their formula. They're going to make you stack it,
for what they're
throw
doing.
it up, and God forbid they get like a guy who's like a legitimate down the field threat.
But you were one of the first people I ever heard bring this up. Steelers played awful. Ike Taylor played awful. Your boy, the guy that you have uncovered as a fraud a year ago, Troy Polamalu, he literally would guess before the play, like, I think this play's going left. And Tebow's rolling
right.
right.
He laughed at me last year when I said it. The guy is a great guess player.
And in a game like that, when all you need to do is just be in the area and a guy like him can make plays, he's literally in the wrong side of the field.
Yeah. No, there are times he's not on the field.
You didn't see him anywhere near the last play of the game. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, right.
The guy's a safety. He's nowhere near the last play.
He wasn't the guy blitzing, right.
Yep.
How about Falcons owner Arthur Blank on this season? I don't think we took a step back this season. Obviously, 0-3 in the playoffs is not where anybody wants to be. It was disappointing not to score any points. They made a couple of explosive plays.
Embarrassing.
What?
I actually think it was a down year for them. Let's forget, they were the 1 seed last year. And this year they had a nice little run late, but they had a bunch of bad losses.
They're inconsistent. Very inconsistent.
They're very inconsistent. I think that you really got to start worrying about Matt Ryan. At this point, as great as everybody says he is, and he had a good years. We talked about his numbers. He helped out passer rating up around in the 90s. He had all these, his touchdowns to interception rate was really good. His completion percentage was really good. But if you look at him in big games, I mean, they play the Saints. He wasn't playing big games against the Saints. You see him this past week; he was just lost on the road.
I truly believe they're not constructed correctly. I think that Michael Turner, because he never catches the ball to the backfield, maybe they just don't think he's capable of it. I guess not. I feel like that what happens in those games when they're not playing well is that they feel like they can't go to him because they need to throw the ball, and then it just becomes too predictable. They need a good running back who can catch the ball to the backfield.
I think they thought you got Jacquizz Rodgers, and they thought that he was going to be kind of like a Darren Sproles type guy. I don't think he really was.
No, I mean, nobody's like that. Yeah, I know you're saying.
But you know what I mean? Well, I mean, Darren Sproles was...
But don't you think if they got a better coach...
Oh, I think the coach is brutal. I mean, I think they're not far away... But I mean, you're gonna have your window's getting limited with like John Abraham. I mean, the guy's getting older.
Yeah, I'm not as down on Matt Ryan as you are.
I'm not down on him. I'm not saying he's. I mean, I'm down on Joe Flacco. I'm not as down, but I mean, people hype this guy.
People thought he was going to take the next.
He's
level.
the next.
You're right.
I mean, he's no Matthew Stafford of that
totally agree.
Group of quarterbacks.
100%.
He's below him. So what do you got?
What about Marty Schottenheimer? He's interviewing for the Bucs job. You think that's a good fit?
Marty Schottenheimer?
Yes, he is. And then that's where they're thinking the landing location for his son. He'll be the offensive coordinator.
Sold to you, I believe you would say.
They'll have another 10-game losing streak. Thanks. Look, you can't deny that Marty Schottenheimer's a great regular season coach.
Regular season coach.
But I mean, hey, if you're the Bucs, I'll take a good regular season coach.
I don't
at this
mind
point.
Marty.
Let's take some baby steps.
I don't mind
You know what I
Marty.
mean? Let's just get through the regular season at this
I
point.
don't mind Marty, although he hasn't been in the game for a few years.
It was 5 years.
As for his son, I mean, whatever.
Yeah. Take him.
Great job by the Jets saying that he was their coordinator for the future. I guess the future meant 72 hours.
Yeah.
3 off-season
He'll
days.
make, he'll make it through.
3 off-season days.
How about Hines Ward? He might retire. You think it's time?
I think it is time, and I'm a big fan of his. I mean, I think he's a Hall of Fame wide receiver. That's how good I think he is.
He wasn't
but
even
he-
in the game at like crucial points. Don't even.
He wasn't in the game a lot this year.
He's like a third wide receiver now.
But
Fourth,
you know what's
I guess
amazing? Though?
fourth.
They do start him, and then he doesn't get a lot of time because I noticed it on like Monday night games, and they list the starting lineups. So those, he's always in the starting lineup.
He
but
stinks now.
Well, he does. But he's old, and part of his game was that he was going to out hustle you, and he just,
He was very good.
He was very good. But I think it is time.
How about this one? This was interesting. Greg Jennings on Aaron Rodgers versus Brett Favre. They both bring different things to the table, but honestly, right now, I definitely have to go with Aaron. His body of work at such a young age, his attention to detail, his discipline, I think he's really second to none. It's unparalleled.
Well, I'll let you take this one.
I think Brett Favre,
Oh, boy.
as good as he was, great career Hall of Famer, I think that he was great in a different way than Aaron Rodgers was. So, in terms of pure talent and accuracy and all that, Aaron Rodgers probably is better than Brett Favre was, but the guy won 2 or 3 MVPs. The guy won a Super Bowl. Greg Jennings caught Brett Favre at the end of his career. Like, let's relax a little.
Well, right, and I think that it's a kind of a BS question to ask a guy. Who are you going to pick the quarterback you're playing with right now? What's he going to say? Oh no, this old guy who everybody in my town hates.
Yeah.
Whether I'm going to pick him, like he had to say that. But I mean, I do think that we got to kind of put the brakes a little bit on just throwing Aaron Rodgers on as being better than Brett Favre, who is one of the all-time greats. I mean, the guy's had a good 2.5 seasons.
I think he's more of a complete quarterback.
I
He's more of
agree.
a
I
true
think
quarterback.
when it's all said and
If
done,
he wins another Super Bowl, though.
well, if he wins another Super Bowl, right? But I mean, he's still got to put together. I mean, the body of work that Brett Favre put together. When you're looking at Aaron Rodgers, he's been a starter for what, 3 years?
He's gonna win an MVP probably.
Yeah.
And he may have 2 Super Bowls. That's pretty good.
Fantastic. His stretch of Go ahead.
How about, and I guess this is an anonymous New York Met player.
Speaking.
This is awesome.
I got a good New York Met point after that.
It's really sad to see what the Mets have become. A great franchise on the biggest stage in sports is now a laughingstock. Ownership is trying to turn the Mets, a big market franchise, into a small market franchise. That's not just sad, it's disgusting. You know what I think when I read about the Mets nowadays? That we become the Oakland A's and the Pittsburgh Pirates.
But let's be
Just
honest.
says anonymous. But
Who's saying that they were a great franchise? Like, I'm the biggest Met fan there is. To say that the Met franchise is a great franchise,
They haven't been good since 2001.
and even then was like they've never had a sustained era.
They were good for 3 or 4 years in that time.
At
that
a
was
clip.
it.
At a clip. In the late 80s, they were good
Oh.
for 3 years. It was it. They were good between 69 and 73, and that was it. But they
You
never-
have 2 seconds to tell me who you think that player is. Like, if you had to get,
You think it's a current player?
You said player.
yes, it's anonymous Met player. New York Met player.
David Wright.
Oh, is it a current player? I can't imagine. I was going to say Keith Hernandez. Because Keith Hernandez, when he's up there, he gets so disgusted by the Mets. And he's like one of my favorites.
Oh
He's
my
like, they like this. I like to sit back with a nice cold Michelob. He always talks about the only guy in the world that still drinks Michelob.
He's always crushing popcorn too during the segment. During the
He's
show.
got it up.
I couldn't even tell you who it was. Who could it possibly be?
I don't know, but can I just run the Mets? Do you know who I didn't even realize the Mets had released and put on waivers?
Who?
Fernando Martinez signed with the Houston Astros today. Did you know this guy was untradeable? He was on the do not touch list.
This guy's got a lot of tools. He had
He'll
5
probably go out and hit 30 home runs this year for Houston.
I'm sure he
You
will.
know it.
How about
You drafted him in fantasy.
100%.
He'll be an
100%.
O face.
Lock him up.
How about Romeo Cornell? 3-year deal from the Chiefs.
I think he earned it. I mean, he did. I mean, you look at what he did as a defensive coordinator. He was very good. I mean, that team had a good season, and they lost their safety, who was very, very good. And then, the team seemed to rally around him. I think he earned it.
He earned it, but I don't think he's a good coach.
I don't know.
He's good. He's a defensive-minded coach.
You're going to say because of what he did in Cleveland? Nobody can coach in Cleveland. Belichick wasn't good in Cleveland. You're going to say he's not a good head coach because of what you saw in
I
Cleveland?
don't think Kansas City's a hotbed of talent.
No, but I'm saying just as a franchise. Kansas City is a playoff
Yeah,
team.
they have a good crowd.
Well, they have a good place to play, and they win playoff games.
He seems, here's what I'll say. He seems like a nice guy.
like a friend.
He seems
like a
He
friend-
does seem like, doesn't he
nice
seem like a
friendly fella,
cherubic
yeah.
guy?
He's a Belichick guy off that Scott
Cherubic,
Pioli tree as well.
C-H-E-R-U-B-I-C.
Cherubic.
Yeah, it means like angel-like.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, Mike Mularkey to the Jags. Good fit.
Yeah, I don't know much about Mark Mularkey as a head coach. I don't know.
You should know he went 13 for like 19 in Buffalo.
I was actually going to say, I don't know
2
anything
years.
about him.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I mean, I don't know good or bad. I don't know anything about his like coaching philosophy. Tone, what do you think?
He stinks.
Oh, okay, good.
But I think the Jags are all downhill now.
They're downhill.
There you
All
go.
Got rid of
Darren
them.
Williams on the Nets offense. The offense sucks. It's not very good right now. We're not playing good. We're not shooting good. I'm not shooting good. We're all turning the ball over. When you play a team like the Heat, when you turn the ball over, they're going to convert and they're going to get 20 points on you very early.
Let me ask you a question. I'm not the biggest basketball guy.
Yeah.
When you talk about turnovers, who has the ball the most on a
Well,
team?
that'd be your point guard, though.
What position does Darren Williams play?
It's him, and I guarantee you he's leading the team by far. Probably has twice as many turnovers as everybody.
Right,
He's
just-
been
I was just making
brutal.
sure.
That guy's been brutal.
Thanks.
And it amazes me because he's still going to be this big hot commodity. He's not going to be a net because they're not going to get
You
there
are
quick.
down on him.
Oh, he's a little weave
talking
haircut
about-
that he's got.
My man
Forget
is
him.
talking about turnovers.
Yeah.
He should have picked something else. Like, we don't play defense.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
You're the guy in charge of turnovers.
Forget it, dude. Let him go.
All right, let's end it on this one. You guys remember Sean Salisbury?
Yeah.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Sean Salisbury was relieved of his broadcasting duties for the Lingerie League.
Allegedly. Because there's like
Well,
a
I
controversy.
Wait, what happened?
couldn't
I didn't know he was-
I looked everywhere for the reason, but I couldn't.
I found an article.
I couldn't find
Well,
it.
the announcement was that he was relieved of his duties, and then like his people were like, no, he's pursuing other opportunities. Because there was like 3 weeks left in the season.
Right
apparently.
there, you know something sketchy is going
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's allegedly. Like,
Yeah.
who knows what happened?
Yeah.
on. Oh, you don't know what happened? Is it
No,
anything?
no. Sean Salisbury, that guy, I could tell right away he's a jerk.
Well, yeah, I mean, he is the typical backup quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, he probably he does very well with ladies. Never wanted to actually play in any games.
He got fired from ESPN for
He's
sending
like the
that
backup quarterback
pornographic-
from the program. Remember
That's
that
how he
guy
got fired?
with the fill-in
He
for
got
Kane?
He got. You know why he got fired from ESPN?
No.
You guys.
I don't know the
encourage you to
gossipy
Google
stuff
it.
like this. Go
Well,
ahead.
he was
So, like,
at
an
a, he was at
intern
like a
that was
holiday
there?
party at a bar.
Yeah, he was drunk, right?
And yeah, well, I hope for his sake he was. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's just really stupid. And he took a picture of his unit on his phone, and he was like going around showing it to people
At a party?
at like a
At
company
an
party.
ESPN party.
He did this before, like it was in vogue, before you heard about Brett Favre or anything.
He has a first camera
Like, he
call.
did like on a StarTAC phone, you know, like one of those grainy ones.
Yeah.
Nokia. Flip phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Had to load it.
And
It's
so
like-
he got fired, and he denied it. It was like an urban legend. He denied it for years, and then apparently like he's got demons, so he came out and was like, I have to cleanse myself of all the wrongs I've done, and I did in
One
fact
of them
do
was
that.
this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, is right.
What a wacko.
And real quick, we got 2 minutes, but I read somewhere that there's talk about the Jets maybe trying to get Peyton Manning. Did you hear this?
Well,
Trade?
I think Mike's heard it.
Yeah.
The big story today. I mean, look, there's no way they get him. Of course, of course it'd be great for the Jets to get Peyton Manning. I don't care who you are. There's 5 teams in the league that wouldn't
Yeah.
want him. But they're never going to get him because he's going to have the pick of he's not going to come up to play in New York.
What's the big story today?
Well, the big story today was that it broke. I guess it was the Daily News.
I don't know.
The same guy who broke the story about how all the wide receivers were unhappy with Mark Sanchez, which led to Derek Mason getting canned. He had interviewed some Jets players, and they were all about, we want Peyton Manning in here. And then they went on to say how they thought Mark Sanchez was lazy.
He doesn't work
I
And then
read
they-
that today when I was.
Yeah, and they need to get somebody. They had the guy on the fan today. They need to have a legitimate backup to have some competition. No, I don't buy any of that.
What did he say in the fan?
He said he said exactly that. He said, I have these guys. I mean, he just confirmed the story.
I don't necessarily buy. I
It's
heard
terrible for the Jets because
It just shows they're all split.
my
they're-
guess
yeah,
is,
they're all
and
falling
Mangold was on with Michael Kay tonight when I'm driving home, and he says he doesn't know who it is. I can't imagine they don't know who it is.
It has to be a good player.
That's what I'm saying. It has to be a good player.
'Cause
It's
you're
not
not
going to be
walking around-
Dustin Keller because that's like his best friend. Mango came out and defended him right away. So it's got to be somebody on offense that's a good player. I mean, are you still asking for Santonio Holmes? Michael Kay brought up a good... It could have been Schottenheimer because they just said somebody within the organization.
Maybe.
You could see it's Schottenheimer saying, well, this guy didn't work hard. He's covering his own ass.
That's a good
You
point.
know what?
Could be.
It may have been. I think there is somebody, but I did hear that Derek Mason get interviewed on Michael Kay like a week ago, and he basically flat out denied, and he seemed pretty believable, and maybe he's just a con man, that he never even had a meeting that was alleged in that article that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
If I had to guess, it'd be Santonio Holmes.
Santonio Holmes. I could see Plaxico, too.
Yeah.
I ain't Curly. He's happy to be there.
We'll be back looking for JT's segment. I'm looking forward to it. We're the
All right.
Tri-State Sports guys.